Alright, in this video we are going to learn to graph quadratic functions. Alright, when you graph a quadratic function, you are going to need 3 to 5 points. Alright, with one of those being the vertex. Alright, if we think about a parabola, it looks like this or like that. Okay, if I just graph 2 points, alright, even if one of them was the vertex, so if I just graph this point and this point, I have no way of knowing what the other side would look like. So if I just gave you those 2 points, alright, how would you know where the curve was? Alright, what if this wasn't the vertex? Alright, if I just gave you those 2 points, you can't tell that it's a parabola. So we need at least 3, and honestly I would like for you to graph 5. And you need to graph the same number of points on each side of the vertex. So if I give you these 3 points, alright, you wouldn't be able to draw the other side. Right now this just looks like a straight line. But if I fill in the other 2 on the other side of the vertex, now I can see what my parabola should look like. So 3 to 5, really I would like you to have 5. One of them is the vertex, and then if you have 5, you would have 2 points on either side of the vertex. So the vertex, 2 over here, 2 over there, that gives you 5 and gives you the shape of the parabola. Alright, so here's how we're going to go about this. We are going to first find the x-coordinate of the vertex. So if I'm going to graph x squared plus 4x plus 3, remember that to find the x-coordinate, we use x equals negative b over 2a. This number right here by the x is b. Whatever number is in front of the x squared is a. If there's nothing there, we're going to make it a 1. So I have x equals negative 4 over 2 times 1. 2 times 1 is 2, so negative 4 divided by 2 is negative 2. Alright, the x-coordinate of the vertex is negative 2. That number is going to go in the middle of my table. Alright, so right here, negative 2. Then, I'm going to fill in x values above and below. So I'm going to go less than negative 2, so negative 3, negative 4, and then I'm going to go greater than negative 2, so negative 1 and 0. Alright, now I have 5 x values, and I need the y values to be able to graph them. You have a choice here. You can substitute each one of these x values in here. So you would do negative 4, get a y value. Negative 3, get a y value. Negative 2, get a y value. Or we can just use the calculator and get the calculator to make the table for us. So that is what I'm going to do. Remember, we have done tables in the calculator before. So if you press menu, okay, it brings you to this screen, and we want the one that says table. So for me, it's number 7. It could be something different for you. When I get to the table, I'm going to type in the equation that I'm graphing. So x squared plus 4x plus 3. Alright, and then I'm going to take it to the table. Now, your table might give you different numbers. Mine is set for 1, 2, 3, 4. But in my table, I have negative 4, negative 3, negative 2, negative 1, 0. So, to get the numbers that I want, all I have to do is type them in. So I want when x is negative 4, and if I press enter, it tells me that y has to be 3. Okay, so y is 3. Then, when x is negative 3, so I'm going to type in negative 3, press enter. It tells me that y is 0. So every time I'm just looking at the y value that it gives me. Alright, so y is 0. Alright, when x is negative 2, y is negative 1. When x is negative 1, y is 0. And then the last one, when x is 0, y is 3. So now I have my 5 points, and I'm just going to graph these ordered pairs. So negative 4, 3. Negative 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. There's 1. Negative 3, 0. Negative 1, 2, 3. 0 is right there. Negative 2, negative 1 is right there. Negative 1, 0 is here. And 0, 3 is there. And now I can draw my nice U-shaped parabola. Okay. Alright, we are going to do one more example. I know this is not in your notes, alright, but I'm going to show you how to find the vertex on the calculator so we can have the calculator do everything for us and we don't even have to mess with the negative b over 2a. Okay, so let me get my calculator back. And this time I'm going to go to the graph. So I'm going to press menu again and go back to the graph, just like we did when we were finding roots. Okay, and here's my graph. So I have negative 2x squared minus 8x minus 6. Okay, and I'm going to ask the calculator to draw it, and there it is. So there's my graph. All right, I want to know what the vertex is. All right, remember we said the vertex is also either the min or the max. So if I press GSolve and give me my options, okay, there's no vertex option. However, there is a max option and a min option. All right, so for this graph that opens down, the vertex is also the max value. So I'm going to ask the calculator, find me the max value. All right, and it tells me that it is negative 2, positive 2. That is going to go in the middle of my table. All right, so negative 2, positive 2, because that is my vertex. Then I'm going to do the same thing that we did on the last example, so I'm going to fill in numbers above and below. So less than negative 2 would be negative 3 and negative 4. More than negative 2 would be negative 1 and 0. And then I'm going to go back to the calculator and go to the table. Go back to the table now. So menu, go over to the table. All right, there is my equation. It carried it over from the graph, so I don't even have to type it again. I'm just going to go to the table, and then I'm going to type in my x values. So for negative 4, y is going to be negative 6. All right, for negative 3, y is going to be 0. I already know that for negative 2, it's positive 2. So now I can go back to negative 1. For negative 1, it is 0. And then for 0, it is negative 6. So now I have 5 points that I can graph. So negative 4, negative 6. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right, negative 3. 1, 2, 3, 0. Negative 2, 2. Negative 1, 0. And 0, negative 6. And then I have my facing down parabola. Okay, so you can use the calculator to find the vertex, or you can use x equals negative b over 2a and do it by hand. And then I strongly recommend using the calculator to make your table and then just graphing those points. Okay, that's it for graphing quadratics. Make sure you fill out the Google form.